Right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Um, Real quick, and I don't remember if I shared this with you all last week. I don't believe I did. If I did, I'm sorry. I don't think I'm not doing this to irritate people, but it's good information, even if I did share it, just in case somebody missed it. I'm really getting concerned when I'm processing grades at the beginning of every week, the amount of students that are turning in the work. So this data is from last week. So not the assignment that was due on Sunday 2 days ago, but the week before that. But I don't think the data from this last week that was due on Sunday is much different, if maybe even a little bit worse. So I really want to tell you this information just because I want to motivate people to stay on top of their work, and make sure that they're setting aside time each day, each week, and completing this stuff, right? I'm not saying you've got to complete it during class, right? We have class Tuesdays and Thursdays. We typically do announcements and stuff for 5 minutes or so. And then you have the other 40 minutes or so to work on math. That means stay behind with me, ask questions, go through problems. That means go and look through the book, watch the tutorial video, whatever you're doing. But that's what that time is designed for. It's designed for for me to not waste your time and keep you in class, but for me to let you go and do whatever you have to do. And if that means to stay back with me and go through problems or clarify things, then great, right? These next, 45 minutes or so, that is your time. I'm willing to sit here for the 45 minutes and spend however much of that time with you guys as you need. So don't feel bad, or don't hesitate to stay back with me after we dismiss. But anyways, so this was almost 2 weeks ago. The amount of students in fourth period, so this isn't just across the board, this is your specific class, 14 out of 28. So exactly half of the students in this class turned in their work as of last Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And again, I could pull up the data right now and look for last week as well when I processed grades yesterday, but I don't think it's much different, if maybe a little bit worse. I saw a lot of zeros there. So I'm telling you that because I know how many people and how many families were contacting me at the end of the semester last semester, and they didn't want to fail, right? And I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, I preached the whole time during first semester at the start, stay on top of this stuff. It's way easier to keep an A than to come back from an F. And sure enough, some people kind of found out the hard way. So please, 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 if you're listening, make sure you are setting aside time, your dedicated time, like your scheduling time. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. Schedule time in your day to do this stuff. Don't just think I'm going to knock it out later. Because guess what? Something happens, something comes up, you got to go somewhere, then you got to help cook dinner or whatever. And all of a sudden it's bedtime, you're exhausted, and you're like, crap, I didn't do anything for math, right? Your day can get away from you. I know it happens to me all the time. So please, please, please schedule this time to knock this stuff out, right? Each day. All right. Hopefully people are doing well, and hopefully they kind of got a plan going, and maybe last week or the week before was just a fluke, and things are going to turn around. If you just don't know how to make things turn around, just shoot me an email, right? We'll talk about it. We'll come up with a plan together. Okay. So for this week, you can see the 22nd through the 28th. This is basically the last week of February. We're dealing with adding and subtracting rational expressions. We're going to handle this lesson kind of like we did with the last lesson. If you remember, we spent the last 2 weeks on multiplying and dividing rational expressions. Partly because last week was like a half a week, but also because this concept isn't like, watch, read the book and, maybe watch 5 minutes of the video and I'm good, right? It makes sense. It takes a little more thought than that. So this was a little bit difficult. Same thing with adding and subtracting rational expressions. This might even be more difficult, which is why we're going to spend 2 weeks on this as well. So next week, and we'll talk about this on Thursday, but next week will be similar to last week, where you'll have a worksheet, video tutorial, me going through the worksheet, a key, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that extra practice, will serve you when we take a test in a couple of weeks. Like always, for all these sections, you got the interactive textbook, the pages we're on, all that kind of stuff, the practice problems that I want you to do, and make sure you're doing them, right? You're not just, for some reason, I'm getting this like Adobe update thing. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? Make sure you're doing these practice problems. Don't just think that you can catch up the week of the test, right? This stuff is heavy. Multiplying and dividing, you know, it's not horribly bad, but adding and subtracting, that takes some thought, that takes some practice. Just yesterday, I spent probably an hour and a half with a student just going over problems over and over and over until they felt super comfortable with it. And that's what it takes. Practice makes perfect. Extra practice. If you need some extra practice problems, you can access that. The vocab and concepts in the check-in. Just don't forget with this vocab and concepts, have your book out. That'll help you out a lot. The solutions manual is there for any of these practice problems, any problem throughout the lesson. Make sure you have that solutions manual out. And then my video tutorial, which I'm guessing, I don't remember, that this is me going through the lesson, all the vocab, all the example problems. And then part 2 is the practice problems. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. All right. Just so you know, next week, again, we're going to be continuing practicing adding and subtracting rational expressions. So we're going to get some more practice with it. I can't stress it enough. Stay on top of this stuff, right? Don't get behind. If you're already behind and you haven't even looked at multiplying and dividing, you are significantly behind. You've got to hit the ground running this week and start looking at this material and doing better at it. Okay. All right. Oh, I thought I didn't have anybody late, but I do. Let me let everybody that's late in. If you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask something. Or type something in the chat box.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
For the multiplying and dividing rational expressions worksheet.
Yeah.
Do we do all 16 or just 8 of them?
Yeah, all 16. I've
Okay.
had that question 3 times now. Is there a reason why you're, just out of curiosity, why you're asking if we're doing half of it?
No, I was just wondering because it says 0 of 8 on the score. So
because the points.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, okay. Because you're the third person to ask me that, and I'm like, why are people thinking that? Okay, yeah. It's to basically balance it the same weight as the weekly assignments, 5 points or so. So I just made each thing worth a half a point, just so they kind of all hold the same weight. So yeah, okay. Nothing behind 8 points. That doesn't mean just half. Just knock out all 16. Good question. Thank you, Lucas.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from people? Looks like the chat's empty. All right, I'm going to hang back and talk with everybody. Use the next 30 minutes or so to work, but if you want to stay back and let me and ask a question or work through problems, feel free to. I hope everybody has an awesome day, and we'll see you later. Bye, Sarah. We got a few people left. Anybody that's got a question, you could type it in the chat box or unmute yourself as preferred, right? Just so that way we can talk. Zach, Joshua, Samantha. Question?
Oh, my bad.
Oh, you're good.
See you later.
See you, Zach. Later, buddy.